Hello, my little badasses. I am so fucking intimidated by today's episode.
No, I'm nervous. I'm shaking.
I'm never nervous about any guest, but today I have the directing staff of Special Forces. Welcome, Billy. Welcome, Rudy. Holy shit. You guys aren't nervous.
It's a pleasure to be here. We are far from nervous.
Yeah, we're very thankful, but yeah, we've toppled regimes and
This is nothing.
Well, I read through your backgrounds and your resume, and I immediately looked at Easton and I was like, okay, first of all, I have so many questions. And second of all, I've never been this intimidated by anybody. So I love the show. It is absolutely fantastic, but I really relate to the people who after the first mission say I'm done and go home. Those are the most relatable to me. And I just immediately went into, I have breast implants, so I can't go on the show. Like that was my excuse because my mother is really into it as well and said, you should do this. You should test your strength. I was like, let's not, because then I can say that I have all the strength in the world, but I don't have to prove anything. And that's the category that I sit well in.
Well, Lala, you know what? Believe it or not, Lala, it's such an opportunity because we do have recruits that come on for the good reasons, like they want to reconnect to patriotism. Some of them have parents and or grandparents that served. Others want to see what they're made of, maybe looking for a new test or challenge. Everyone is shocked about how difficult it is in different ways. And you'd be surprised. You may think you're weak or you may think you're afraid. You may think that it's too much. But when the chips are down and you've got other recruits suffering with you, you find something deeper inside. And we've seen it across the board in our program. And it's not a TV show. It's really a course. We run a course. We have an incredible production house called Minnow Films that is skilled at capturing it. But we run a course, and we're always surprised, aren't we, bro?
Yeah. It's, I think most people come on it because they've lost direction, forgot who they really are.
Okay.
And they want to be challenged in many, many ways. And some, like Rudy says, you know, they may have a background of coming from a military family, want to feel what that was really about. But it's very much an individual journey. And I would say 90% of the people say exactly what you just said there. I couldn't do it, or I wouldn't want to do it. Maybe you wouldn't want to do it, but you could do it. You'd be surprised what you could do. Because we will push you physically, mentally, and emotionally through barriers you'd never ever dream of going through, or doing things that you couldn't imagine.
You know, I love that you say that. And obviously you both come from a background where this has been your real life for many, many years. Billy, what was it that made you want to enter into this world? Not the television show, but before that. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you.
And it's the SAS that you were a part of.
It was, but you don't just go straight into Special Forces. You have to go into a military branch.
Okay.
And then apply to go into the Special Forces after a period of time. You used to have to do about 5 years of experience of being in a normal unit, then you go to the Special Forces. For me, I grew up in UK into a very poor family of 5. I was a middle child, which meant I was different. Because middle children we are different, we're wired different. And I was rogue. I was in a lot of trouble. By the age of 11, I was in county court. By the age of 13, I was thrown out of school, so I had no education. 15, I was stabbed and nearly died. And that was the turning point in my life, where looking at my family, my mum and dad, and realising the pain I'd put them through, I knew I had to change my life. The military was that change. I knew I needed the discipline, I needed to be taught respect. And I joined the military at 17. And I joined the parachute regiment. 70 of us started. And at the end of it, there's only 7 of us left. And I was one of those 7. And then I spent 9 years with the parachute regiment, serving all over the globe in conflict and being tested and doing things. And then after 9 years, I decided, where do I go next? And I went to the Special Forces. At this time, there was 283 of us started the course. At the end, that lucky number again, 7 of us finished.
Wow.
And I went to B Squadron 22 SAS, which is very famous for the Iranian embassy back in 1980.
Okay.
That was the first time the British Special Forces were ever seen or heard of. And yeah, and then I spent 20 years with the SAS, decorated by the Queen on a number of occasions. Had a wonderful career.
That's incredible.
So that was me.
Our grandfather served in,
World War II and then the Vietnam War.
Right.
and he had a Silver Star. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
he got a Silver
Easton?
Star, and
So is that something?
That's a big time. That is a high decoration. It's the highest decoration underneath the Congressional Medal of Honor, which mostly you receive posthumously. Mostly you die. You have to sacrifice your life to get the Congressional Medal of Honor. Right underneath that is the Silver Star.
Wow.
It's no joke. It's,
So
it's
he's
heavy.
obviously, made a lot of sacrifices. Very brave man and did some great things.
That's incredible, because my mom would always talk about that, and you just kind of go like, wow, that's amazing. And you don't really carry with you what that actually means.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm having an overwhelming feeling right
but
now.
back to like you guys said, it's people who do the show who have like family background in it, and like that's a thing that I just thought, like, for my grandpa to go through it, what am I capable of?
For sure.
So that I would
And
love to do
Rudy,
something like that.
your father was in the Marines. Is that
Corps.
correct?
Yep, the Marine Corps in Vietnam, and I have two fathers. My biological father is also a Marine in Vietnam, and he did 2 tours and was not well. Never came back to my mom, but Rudy Reyes Sr., who's passed on. They both have passed on, but my real father is Rudy Reyes Sr., and I'll tell you what, he has 3 boys. I am his favorite, and I'm not even his biological, but he just loved me. He called me dad. He said, Dad. I say, Dad. He goes, Dad. I said, Dad. So I was married as a young recon Marine, and, when we go through selection, you have to be an infantryman. You got to be a nobody, just like Billy said. There's no, in the Marine Corps and in British Army, you can't sign up for Special Force. There's no such thing. You have to get your basic soldiering skills, and there's a culture to learn, and it's the basic soldiering disciplines, fields of fire. You never hear us, our units, having blue on blue, shooting each other. Believe it or not, if you can imagine, it's not like the movies. Combat is incredibly chaotic, and it is extremely, extremely dangerous because our weapon systems they don't have smart bullets. They're going to go wherever they freaking go. And to coordinate and to work fields of fire, to understand the disciplines and to have trigger control. Man, there's so much that goes into it. But I did my very best. I never really liked guns before. I grew up in, ultimately I was orphaned. My mother gave us up. My parents split up when I was very young. And, but I was an athlete, and I believed in fighting the good fight. I love freaking Rocky Balboa. I watched John Rambo, and I was a great wrestler in Nebraska. I learned to love discipline, and if you play by the rules and you do your best, it starts opening up other doors. So I excelled in the boys' home. After I got out of the boys' home, I went into kickboxing.
How old were you when you got out of the boys' home?
18 years old.
Okay.
And I had 2 little brothers. I got them out of the boys' home too so that they could stay with me. And we worked restaurant jobs and construction, and I pursued martial art. All of my teens and 20s, I never went to a bar or a club or anything like that. I trained, and this is what it takes if you want to be great. I trained 3 to 5 hours every single day, had a job, maintained my weight. But it was the ethics of sport and the ethics of martial art that led me to the Marine Corps. Billy was fighting over there in Kosovo and in Bosnia. Well, you two may be too young to remember, but around 1997, President Clinton says, all right, we're going to bring Americans over there to help our brothers fighting, and we've got to stop the ethnic cleansing and the war that's happening there between Serbia and Croatia. So I said, well, if another young man's got to go fight, and I'm young, I'm strong, I was 26. If another young man's got to go fight, I was already an international kickboxing champion. If somebody else has got to sacrifice, then I have to do my part. I didn't know really that much about the military, except in America, the Marine Corps is the toughest freaking branch there is. It wasn't the Army they sent to fight the Japanese in the Pacific. It was the United States Marines. No one else could have done it. So I joined the infantry, had no idea what I was doing. It was very tough, extremely disciplined. You always fail. You're always in charge. I was always in charge. I was the honor grad of boot camp and School of Infantry and the Ironman. So I failed every day. Somebody messes up. Somebody in 70 freaking Marines is going to mess up, whether it's the boots, whether it's how they're bloused, or where their rank is, or what have you. So I was punished every day. It's called the burden of leadership. So I was punished for about 6 or 8 months.
How do you get punished? Like, what does the punishment entail? Are you allowed to say?
Oh, well, they'll humiliate you. They'll put you in the sand pit and wear you out with 8-count bodybuilders and burpees. They'll make you do extra duty. They make fun of you really, really bad in horrible ways. It's because it's teaching you that attention to detail and that you're always inspecting, not expecting. This goes right to our work on the course.
Yeah.
We inspect, we do not expect. We do a lot of dangerous work even on this course. The rope work, the helicopter work, the swim escapes, man, it's all real deal operational freaking risk. We need to be switched on. We check each other out, check our harnesses, make face-to-faces, brief back, make sure we're really on the same sheet of music. That's what this was teaching me. And then I had an opportunity to try out for recon. And I didn't know how to swim too well, but I was so dominant on the land. And I was such a fast runner, and I was so strong. I was ahead at the pool. It was 7 hours on the land, and I wait to the pool. Nobody else was there for half an hour. I caught my breath, and I barely made it. Barely made what, because the little water stuff that you see, bro, we're treading with half hour with our freaking rifle above our head. We've got to go.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. You got sharks, meaning other freaking recon Marines swimming behind you with fins and throwing you in chokes, and you got to bring them all the way down 25 feet, grab their elbows, squeeze, turn around, push them off. Then you have to do rescues. I mean, it's just heavy, right? But somehow I kept a great attitude. This is why they brought me on the show back in SAS. I had a great attitude, and I never gave up. And slowly but surely, I may not be smart, but I'm trainable.
I love that.
And that kind of really brought me.
You'd
to
make
where
a
I'm at
great
now.
husband.
Yeah.
Are you married?
Well, just recently it kind of went south because I think because I do too much. I'm a successful veteran. I've got my own work and business. I rebuild coral reefs. I clean the house. I do the yard. I do everything, and maybe some people might feel insecure, I guess.
Oh,
Maybe,
you're
I
a
don't
little
know.
too trainable.
Yeah. Or I'm
You're like,
just
hold on, he's outdoing
overachieve-
himself.
Yeah, overachiever. Classic
We like those.
overachiever.
Well, do you have children?
I do. My 2 little babies. They love the hell out of me. Now, little did I know, it's so big, but Call of Duty, the video game.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm a very popular character on Call of Duty, right? And my son thinks he's the coolest, because even my character's name is Reyes. And, fucking beard, muscles.
So he's you. You made your character
Yes,
you?
That's me. That's
Do you
me.
make your character, or do they just
No,
come
they
how
put
they
him
are?
in the
They
game.
they brought me out. That was a modeling job and everything. That's me, Doug.
Wow,
Yeah.
I play as you pretty
Wait,
much
are
every
you
day.
joking? That's real?
No,
that's really
that's
you?
real. That's,
Oh, that's incredible.
holy shit.
Yeah, so my son loves me, and me and this homeboy so much. Now, my daughter's 14. She's a super stud, but at 14, all she ever asked me about is like shoes and stuff like that. But my son and I, we go on adventures. He plays hockey. We work out together. We go to the video game go-kart place
Yeah.
and go crazy. But you know what he loves the most, Billy? Laser tag, dog. He loves to play, and he's wearing my ass out, brother.
He's got that military gene.
Yeah, he does. You know what? Would you say, Billy, as we gotten older, we've just become more of ourselves, really? I mean,
Yeah.
kind of just
We never
distilled
grow
it
up.
more?
We're still Peter Pan.
Yeah.
We're still young kids at heart.
Give Them Lala is sponsored by BetterHelp. What do you want your 2025 story to be? Every January brings you 365 blank pages waiting to be filled. In 2025, maybe you're ready for a plot twist, or maybe there's a part of your story you've been wanting to revise. Life isn't about resolutions that fade by February. It's about picking up the pen and becoming an author of your own life. Think of therapy as your editorial partner, helping you write new chapters and create the meaningful story you deserve to live. Therapy is helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It helps empower you to be the best version of yourself. And it isn't just for those who have experienced major trauma. It's helpful for everyone. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy more affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. Access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. Easily switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/GTL to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/GTL. Give Them Lala is sponsored by EarthBreeze. Like most people, I've been trying really hard to cut back on how much plastic I use, but with a full house and 2 babies, I'm always throwing those huge laundry detergent bottles into my recycling. But did you know that like 500 million of those bottles end up in the landfills and oceans every single year? That's why I made the switch to EarthBreeze laundry sheets. They come in plastic-free packaging, so they're more eco-friendly than traditional detergent. I love that part. I want the planet to be a better place for my girls when they grow up and have kids of their own. So EarthBreeze is an easy way to get clean clothes without all that plastic waste. And now you can get 40% off with your subscription at earthbreeze.com/Lala. That's earthbreeze.com/Lala. I love that. And Billy, you have kids and grandbabies.
I do, yeah. Yeah.
I'm wondering, because you guys come from a military background, what is discipline like in your household?
Oh, it's brutal.
I can imagine.
They don't step out of line.
I don't think I would either.
We've
not true,
taught
that's it.
them.
We talk
They
about
actually-
this
hey,
parenting styles
no.
and what works. We talk about this a lot. So I want to get what it's like in your household.
Well, my kids are growing up now, so my house, unfortunately, is empty, but I've got grandkids. I would say discipline was a massive thing in my house, and respect. But I think we were talking earlier, I let them be kids. I let them grow up. I let them be. I encourage them to be naughty. Go out and do like kids do, knock on doors, run away, be a little bit cheeky. That's part of growing up.
Right.
But I've always taught them, if it's at the detriment of someone else or damaging, and when you know it's wrong, then you don't do it. That is when, my discipline changes with them.
Okay.
They'd be punished for that, for doing that. But I always encourage them to go out and do, but I also taught them respect, for people, for elderly, and to do the right thing. And I think it worked. I've got 5 daughters, and they are all doing amazing.
That makes me really happy to hear.
Yeah, and that was a tough time as a father, because they're very pretty girls. They took after me, not the mom. Right, so I'll give you an example.
Obviously.
We were talking about this. We were talking about this in the car. I don't know if I should tell you this, but I'm gonna. So, as for a father, teenage girls is your worst nightmare, because they're pretty. Guys are guys.
Totally.
Yeah. So the guys are sniffing around. They want to be the boyfriends, which is fine. So every daughter that brought a boyfriend home, and they weren't allowed to do that till they were at least 14. So they come home, then they'd have an interview with me. And at the
I
time,
would be shitting.
How many made
oh,
bricks.
they did. So this is how the interview kind of went. I had my own little room, and I'd be in there. I'd put Dean Martin on, because I love Dean Martin. He calms me down. I'd have a cigar, Jack Daniels. I'd go, yeah, come in.
Fuck.
And they'd be like, my eldest daughter, second eldest daughter, Kaylee, this is the best example I can give you. And she's dating a guy called Dan, and he's a lovely guy. And Dan comes in, I said, shut the door, Kaylee, leave. She said, oh, Dad, please, I was leave. So she leaves. I said, down. What's your name, Dan? Dan. Anyway, Dan, here's the deal. Welcome to my family. You are welcome in my family. But that's my precious daughter. If you hurt my daughter, that means you hurt me, which means you hurt my family, which means I'll kill you.
Oh, my hell.
Which is true, right? So the little Dan's looking at me going, what? I said, did you hear that? I will kill you. I hear that. Okay, well, don't hurt my daughter, and I don't have to kill you. I says, and if I can't kill you because I'm away on deployment, my friends will kill you. So Dan's like shocked, looking at me. You got the message? Got the message. Welcome to my family, Dan. Goodbye. So Dan goes. Now, this is one true story. I've done this with every one of their boyfriends. Anyway, I get deployed 2 weeks later. I won't say exactly where I am. I'm in the Middle East, and my phone rings. And I'm just about to go out and slap some naughty people for doing naughty things. So I'm kind of all wound up. And my phone rings, and it's my hysterical wife. And I says, what's wrong? And she goes, did you say you would kill Kaylee's boyfriend, Dan? I said, of course I did. You know I did. She goes, well, who do you think you are? You can't do that. I says, I can do that, and I did do that. Right? So I did. Anyway, she goes, well, his mom's a lawyer, and she's been on the phone, and they're talking about going to the police. I went, tell them to go to the fucking police. That's my daughter. So I put the phone down. I go out. We do this job, this raid. I slap some naughty people, so I'm a little bit happier now. I've come back. to notice my phone's got like 20 missed calls. And I'm like, I don't recognise that number. So it rings again. I pick it up, and it's an English lady on the phone. She's ranting and raving. I went, right, calm down, stop. Who are you? She says, I'm Jenny. I says, sorry, I don't know a Jenny. She said, well, I'm Dan's mum. I went, sorry, Dan? Oh, Kaylee's boyfriend. Yes. Apparently you said you would kill him if he hurt your daughter. I says, that's right. She goes, how dare you? I says, listen, here's a deal. I will kill him, and I'll fucking kill you and your husband as well. Now, don't ever call me again. And you know what? I've never had a problem with my daughters.
Did Dan call back?
That's amazing.
No. So
Dan's her husband now.
No. Dan
He can't leave.
No, Dan is missing in action.
Fuck yeah, I would have been too.
So
I'd have wiped my ass and got on the way. I'd have shit myself.
I've got to tell you the rest of this story. This
Okay,
is
tell
very
us.
true, right? So in the regiment, in the SAS, there's some nasty people.
Tough
I say
guys.
nasty, wonderful people. Nasty when
Naughty people.
not people you want to piss off.
Yes.
So there's a guy called Monster, and he's called Monster for a fucking reason.
Does he have an accent like yours? Because
Yeah.
I'm already terrified.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
But Monster's huge. He's like Rudy on steroids. This guy's fucking massive.
Oh, shit.
And he's a great guy. And he knows my kids. He watched my kids grow up. So after I've had this conversation, I'm away fighting a war, and it's a Sunday afternoon, and Kaylee, my daughter, is walking over to the bridge with her boyfriend hand in hand. Coming the other side is this monster of a man, and it's Monster. And he looks and he sees Kaylee. He goes, "You're Billingham's kid." And she's like, "Yeah." She goes, "I knew you." He goes, "I'm Dan." She goes, "Well, Dan, you hurt her. I'll fucking kill you." And walks off.
You guys, where is Dan? Someone needs to do a wellness check on him.
Yeah, God bless Dan.
He's probably in the convent now or something like that, right, brother?
Poor
He's got a different
Dan.
name, a new
Yeah.
social security
Change his
number. He's out.
identity.
Yeah.
Oh my
He
gosh.
lives on an island somewhere all on his own.
Yeah,
Just
probably
sitting
still
there
a virgin.
rocking in the fetal position, worried that
You're
all
coming
of
to kill
you are
him.
coming to
I
kill
hope
him.
to God I didn't hurt
But
her.
we laugh and joke. But I tell you, I was pretty strict with my kids. I still am. But I tell you what, it worked. My kids are doing great things. My grandkids are doing great things. And I think, yeah.
You know
it's
what?
the
I
right thing.
appreciate that because I'm a single mom, and I sometimes go back and forth with the battle of I've chosen to be a single parent. So my firstborn, I had, the normal way, fall in love, bump peepees, have a kid. It didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to with my ex. And so I went the route of getting a sperm donor for my
Okay.
4-month-old. And I love that part. But when I hear you guys talk about your kids and how you discipline, I find, and I may get hate for this, but there is nothing like, and I had a great dad, but I knew that when dad checked in, we weren't fucking playing anymore.
For sure.
And so sometimes I worry about that. So I may be calling you, Billy, to be like, yo,
Yes.
This one's acting up.
we need a disciplinarian, or they got a boyfriend.
I will take their
Yes.
fucking armbands. Don't worry.
That's
I
right.
love
That's
it.
right. I have
like that.
2 children. One's a boy, one's a girl. Dylan is 12, and he doesn't like girls, which is awesome. All he wants to do is train, play hockey, lift weights with dad, give me dissertations on the Gettysburg Address because he loves history. He's my kind of little man.
Yeah.
And he loves me, and we just do freaking men stuff and boy stuff and lift weights and do martial arts. But he has, both my children have Asian mothers and Asian families that are steeped in respect and tradition. Both the mothers are doctors.
Wow.
Both their families come here as both the mothers are immigrants themselves. They know the value of a dollar. They are extremely hardworking. My son's grandfather is a martial artist as well and a neurologist. She's an oral surgeon. The books have to come first before any fun on the ice.
Okay.
And if you want to spend time with Papa Rudy, then the marks need to be high. Matter of fact, both the kids go to extra school. Their mothers and their families are very disciplined about really being competitive. And they may not like it now. When they get older, it will be paying dividends. Now with me, when somebody's acting out of line or not showing respect, I just drop the voice and I look them in the eye and boom, it's squared away. That's the most important part, is that they respect their fathers because they love them. And I definitely shower them with love and attention as well. Like when he raised his kids, he was always on operation. I've been on operation and gone until really I retired 10 years ago. Nowadays, the time with our loved ones is number one, and they can't go out and do the awesome stuff that we do. So anytime and every time we're off of work, we're doing stuff with the kids.
I love that.
Yeah.
There are so many extra fees these days on concert tickets, airline tickets, hotels, and even movie tickets. So this is where Chime comes in. Chime checking accounts come with features like no maintenance fees, fee-free overdraft up to $200, over $50,000 fee-free ATMs, and how about this one? Getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. We can all use all the help we can get when it comes to making ends meet to take care of our families. That's why I love Chime's fee-free overdraft up to $200. You get spotted on debit card purchases and cash withdrawals, and your next deposit is applied to your balance. To date, Chime has spotted members over $30 billion. That's with a B. Friends give friends a boost. Make progress towards a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/Lala. Chime. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit card provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. Members FDIC. SpotMe eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Prime members enrolled in SpotMe and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs. Terms and conditions apply. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details. I wonder this all the time. When you guys would go out on missions, right? And you had a goal. And I know that you both, I saw the word sniper in both of your guys' bios. When you go into a mission and you know what you have to do, is there ever a thought in your mind that, because you're fine-tuned machines, period. But do you keep the human aspect with you where you're like, this could go terribly wrong and it could be my last day on earth?
Every time.
Every time.
I do.
I always know that every moment, we've been in heavy kinetic warfare. I've had the bullets just go through my windshield and the RPGs just miss me. And man, Hellfire rockets coming in from the Cobras and then skirmishes pushing on the flank. It's been freaking heavy. However, I know that this could be it, but I have no barrier between me and what must be done. And in some ways, I'm not even afraid. I understand the risk, but if I got afraid, I think I would freeze or slow down. I look back now at some of the heavy stuff. I fought in Fallujah and Ramadi, which was just freaking pandemonium in the ring. Nowadays, I'd be a little bit scared, or I would slow down and say, hey, let's just think about this a little bit more. Hey, let's just wait a second. I wonder if my aggression and plus your teammates are your best friends that are just as skilled and just as badass as you. You will not be killed because somebody stabs you or shoots you in the back. And you will not be killed because somebody hits you from the flank, because that's good. You may get killed going head to head. And that's all I'm thinking about. I think that's why I was successful. I was so conditioned and I had such trust in my team, and we lived it. It was not a job for us. It was a way of life.
Right.
Yeah. The thing is, every time before you step out to go and do a mission, that was the time when you put to bed those sort of emotions and those things. You look at pictures of my kids and what's important to you and making sure everything's squared away. And that's why I'm a massive, massive advocate and push a lot about how important time is. That last phone call, making sure that we weren't arguing, the kids weren't arguing, we were all happy. Listen, I wouldn't tell them what I was doing, but I'd walk out as I'm getting dressed. The last thing I'd do is I walked out the room to get on the helicopter to do whatever we were going to do, is look at those pictures of kids and think, that might be the last time I see them. Mm-hmm. But then that's it. That's compartmentalized now, and you have to learn to do that. I never went into any fight, any battle with that in my mind that I won't see the kids again. That was already done. Once I've stepped onto that helicopter, that's it. I'm in a different
mindset.
And it's kind of selfish in many ways, to be fair.
I don't think so. I think that was survival for you.
And what you're doing is so unselfish that I feel like you can't feel selfish doing that.
You had to want to do what you were doing and believe
I think
in why
because
you're
we
doing
love
it.
the glory. I think this is what's interesting. Billy's trying to say, and this is some deeper shit right here. We loved the edge and the things that we could do, because not everybody could do some of the things. Well, there's not a lot of people that could do those things, and we felt so freaking rewarded. Not really with money, but with each other and with,
I believed in what I was doing. I was going out to make the world a better place. I was going out at my sacrifice that I might not come back, but I feel if I die doing what I'm doing a good thing, I'm stopping a lot of people suffering. And that's how, and I believe that. These some of these people I'm going out to stop the suffering for don't even fucking like me.
Right.
They don't even know who I am. But I felt, this is the right thing to do, to go out there. So back to what your question was, those emotions and those feelings, we have them. And it was always nice to walk back in the door, that relief of, I can talk to him again. I'll get to see him again. But there was always that moment of, step over that threshold, that's it. Done.
Yeah.
I'm now focused on what I need to be doing. And I believe in what I'm going to do. And I may not come back. That's the reality of it. I didn't let it play on me. And there was no way. Every fight I got into, like Rudy was just saying, there's so many close calls. And there's many times now I'll have a beer and the hairs on the back of my neck stand up and think, how the fuck did I get out of that? I don't know.
Right.
But I think at those moments those happen, you just get on with it. And later on you go, hey, not today, Satan. I'm fucking coming home.
I fucking love
And that was my way of getting. And, it's now when I stand around in the bar and talk to my mates and they go, "How the fuck did you get out of that?" And I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure you
But
guys.
I was supposed to.
Yeah.
But I went in there, totally, focused on what I'm doing. Not my kids, not my life back at home. And that's why now, I was just telling you earlier, I'm a grandfather. I'm now being a father really for the first time, because when my kids were growing up, I was literally from 19, joining the regiment in 92 till when I left, 2010, I was on war footing all the time. I was never home.
Wow.
I never saw them grow up, and I only really realised how bad that was on my kids when my daughter started crying one night and listened to me telling stories with buddies, and she said, I don't know you, Dad. I don't know anything about you, all those stories. And I realised I wasn't there. I was doing what I believed was right, fighting for my country and fighting for a better world. So now I spend every second I can with those grandkids, as I showed you.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
They just wrap me around their finger. They fucking terrorize me, but I love it.
But you love it. And I want to say before we move on to your show, Special Forces, the world's toughest test, which if you guys have not watched, it is fucking gnarly. But I want to thank you both for what you do, what you've done for our country. And, I took Ocean, she's my 4-year-old, and there's this airplane museum in Palm Springs. And all of them, they were part of the military, and there's a lot of planes that they're like, if you donate money, we can get this girl back in the air. But a lot of big boobed painted women on the side.
Sex sells.
Yeah, exactly. Or keeps your mind right. At least. I don't know. It's what I hear from the boys. But I was trying to teach her that what we just saw in the uniforms that we just saw, how, and I'm trying to explain it to a 4-year-old that, when you go to school and you get to play, the people that were in those planes and wore those uniforms, those are the people that allow us to be able to laugh and feel safe. So that, was a special thing for me because, again, my grandfather was one of those people. So you're both very incredible, and I'm glad that we got to talk about your backgrounds.
Give Them Lala is brought to you by Insurify. Finding car insurance can be really stressful. I never know if I'm paying too much for coverage. And as a single mom of 2, I want to make sure my family is protected as best as possible whenever we get in the car. And that's where Insurify comes in. Insurify is an insurance comparison site that has dozens of top insurers competing for your business, which can drive prices down. Insurify lets you compare real-time quotes from dozens of top insurers, including names you know and trust. And the entire process is handled completely online, so no annoying phone calls and no ridiculous fees ever. And with Insurify, you can get insurance coverage in as little as 10 minutes. That's so fast. Your data is always safe with Insurify. They'll never sell your information, so you can shop with confidence. With over a decade of experience and an excellent star rating from Trustpilot, it's no wonder why Insurify has thousands of happy customers all over the country. So get to Insurify.com to compare car insurance quotes in real time and start saving today. That's INSURIFY.com. 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 Average potential savings based on initial quotes received by 183,234 customers seeking insurance through Insurify. Actual savings may vary depending on state of residence, individual circumstances, coverage selections, and insurance provider. Savings results are not guaranteed.
Now let's get into this gnarly show. First of all, I want to know how it came to be. Did you guys pitch this show, or did people come to you and say, we have a concept?
No, this show started in around about 2016 in the UK.
Okay.
It was called SAS Who Dares Wins, which it still is today. So it started over there, and it was the exact same show as it is now, but it was with non-celebrities initially and just men for the first couple of series. Then it was non-celebrities, men plus women. After the audience started to grow. Then it became, we did one series of non-celebrities and then one of celebrities. And all the celebrities that came on, all the money was donated to charity at the time. So that's where it started, initiated back in the UK long time ago. And it's still running today, and we are still part of that. So I was part of it from the very second series of the show. I was there. I was asked to do the first one. I said no, and then I joined and did the Jungle of Ecuador. I can't remember what year, 2016 or something, whatever. Anyway, so that's where it started, and it grew and grew and grew. And America came over and watched the show.
Okay.
And said, right, we'll replicate that. They came back to the States, tried to replicate it, and it didn't really take off. So that died a death. And then about 3 years ago, Fox then looked at the show and went, well, actually, because then Rudy had come on, because at the time it was four Brits.
What the hell is going on? Yeah, easy, John Rambo. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Easy,
really?
easy.
Okay.
However, the UK, brother, I want a moment. I'm telling you, dog, I walk the streets of London and mugs are all over me like a cheap suit. It is awesome. I want him over. But this same team, this brother has been walking me through and teaching me the ropes from almost 5 years ago when I first came on over there.
Yeah.
Fox really loved what they were seeing, but the real magic is our team and our production. It is a British production. They really know how to keep it real.
Yeah.
And they really know. Yeah, so it's a course. It's not a TV show.
So, because that's what I was wondering. I was like, I wonder if at any point they stop and they're like, hey, can we get that again?
No.
Or if it...
No.
Go
So
ahead.
basically,
Tell him, brother.
it can be anything from 10 days to 17 days, depends on how many episodes they want to make.
Okay.
And it's a course. So we are 4 drill instructors, for an easy word, that these celebrities come onto our course that is everything about testing people physically, mentally, and emotionally, just like joining the army or the military. And we push these people from day one to whatever day they get to, and if they're lucky, to the end. And we put them through every challenge that we've been through, or type of challenge, to test them and push them through their boundaries, to scare the life out of them, but to show them, not to hurt them or not to break them, to peel them back to their raw self and prove to them, when you say I can't do it, we can prove to you you can.
Okay.
And we do. And it's going to hurt, but you can do it. So that's what it is. It's a course. It's filmed 24 hours a day. There is no script. There's no rehearsals.
So they're actually sleeping in that area that
barracks.
they show.
They're in the barracks. They're living in the barracks.
And so are we.
They're shitting in the freaking shit houses. We're living in the barracks. We're running in the field. It's
What kind of food are they eating?
basics: potatoes, carrots, and some kind of meat and some soup.
All right.
And every couple of days, that food gets cut down. It gets less and less. Because the idea of the program is to find out somebody's true character, right? And the only way you find someone's true character is when they're tired, they're hungry, and they're uncomfortable. That shows your true character. We can all look good on social media. We can all look good in front of
When
people.
you're feeling great and you've had a night of sleep and you've had plenty of food, when you take away their sleep and you take away their food, it's the closest thing we can give them to combat stress. And you see the real people show up. And no matter what, it's a positive thing. I'll tell you what. If the real person shows up and they're really kind of a jerk or selfish or lazy, they have a chance to address it. Yeah. And if they don't address it so well, their cohort and teammates, their platoon helps address it. It really is a format and a culture that we know works because it worked with us.
Right.
So back to the show, there's no script. So they turn up, and when we're there in front of us, that is the only time we see them. So how you react when I'm telling you and shouting at you is how I will react to you, and it's all filmed. Okay, when they go back to their dormitory, their accommodations, we have no idea what goes. We're not allowed to know.
What they talk about.
Yeah, what they talk about,
Okay.
what they're doing. There's no narrative. When the show starts, there's no. The narrative is built as the show goes on because something will happen in front of us, and we may rip them apart. Get stuck into them. They go back and they're like fucking bitching and having a go at each other, and that's when they start to build a narrative. And then they may come to us and say, "Hey, could you possibly interview number 5?" They won't say why or what their story is. We have to get that out of them in the mirror room.
Right.
And then that starts to build. And we still don't see that. When you're in that room, that interview, I have no idea about what's going to come out of your mouth. And we're not allowed to know.
Those are heartbreaking, by the way.
It can
Yeah.
be revealing,
Yeah.
heartbreaking, but that's the opportunity for growth that I think is the most important part of the show.
That is the show.
That is the real show. The course and the gas chamber, the hand-to-hand fighting, helicopter operations, high ropes, those are taskers. And we're looking to put you under pressure and observe you. But what happens in the mirror room is the magic. And Billy's very good at that. I've learned a lot from him. I work normally on the mirror rooms with him. He's very good at it, but that's the magic of the show. There is no script.
And
it
they
comes
don't
out.
give you a list of questions to ask.
No,
They don't give us
That's
anything.
incredible.
We choose who we want to talk to because we've watched them through the day, and I'll go, right, number 7, she's there's something behind her. We've had such an experience over our 20, 30 years of being in the military, being in combat, being out training people. You get to know people, you get to
Right.
read people, and you can tell something's not right with that person.
Yeah.
Right, I want to let's get her in tonight, let's have a chat, let's see what's going on. And it's, we start a simple process. Just make them feel calm that it's not a police interview, it's a chat. Although it is pretty intimidating when there's 2 of us just staring at you.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, that room is a magic room. Even if you've come in there, if we had you in that mirror room and you've got deep secrets you don't want to talk about, I will guarantee you will be talking about it.
I think you'd tell me to shut up, and you've heard
No,
enough.
no,
I'm an
no.
oversharer.
Or what's so wild is that the course is going to test you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. The conditions. We are in 120, 130 degrees in Jordan. We're in 110 degrees with 100% humidity in the jungle. We're in freezing cold amphibious conditions. The nature of that, which we kind of take for granted, it was our whole life was being pushed into extremity of conditions where it's just our everyday. But for civilians that have never experienced it, they're freaking taking on so much. By the time they get bagged and tagged and put down, sat before us, and the freaking bag and goggles come off, they just release.
It's a shock of capture.
Yep, they just release what
Yeah.
they're really
And they
going
want
through.
to. That's
And
the
they
real-
want to. Yeah,
That's the
well
reason
said.
they've come. The reason they've come is,
exactly.
and it's amazing to see it, and their backstories, most of them are sad, unfortunately. They've been raped or they've had children killed or whatever it is. And like I said, we don't know. Unless I know you personally or followed you, I might know a bit about you. For me, because they're American, I have no fucking idea who
Right.
these people are. So whatever's going to come out their mouth is going to come out their mouth. And I'm like, whoa. Now for us, we're emotional people as well. When somebody's talking about their child dying or them being raped, it's fucking hard. But we have to keep the poker face. Okay, got it. And then we have to listen to that story, go a little bit deeper if we feel we need to, or get what we need out of them to make them feel better. And it's, so we then understand where they are mentally. And then we have to come out with some way of pick them up, get them out, let's get them fucking back on the feet.
I think that would be the hardest thing is once they tell you
No,
such
it's the
a
easiest.
horrendous, really?
Yeah.
To
Well,
then
now
be
you know
like,
who they
now
are,
go
right?
jump out of a helicopter into freezing
No, because now, listen.
water.
You have just spilled your whole life out and everything that's bothered you.
Yeah.
You can't get any lower now.
They come out
You
floating.
can't-
Yeah.
That's
Come out
true.
floating.
So they walk out that room, honestly,
Like
6 foot
that's their
tall, and you'll
rock
see
bottom.
you'll see a total different person when the
Totally.
next time you see them because they've got nothing to hide. They've felt good about.
Yeah.
When you're in a situation in a relationship and you've got something you really want to get off your chest and you don't, then it generally comes out with a fight and an argument, but it's gone, and then you think, fuck, I wish I'd have just sorted that out earlier.
Right.
That's what that situation is for them. So they come out, and right, there's only one answer to anything when you're in darkness, right? And this is how we get through it, how I get through it anyway. Most of the situations I've been in, we've been in as well. it's generally death or bad situations. Been there before, so we've got some experience. Now, if you're sat in front of me spilling out your heart, your sadness, firstly, in my head, I'm going, right, it's because something has happened. It's already happened. That's the key. It's already history. It's happened. You can't change it. Your child's died or this has happened. It's done. You can't change it. Okay? Now, of course, it's hard and it's difficult. Now, the only thing you can do now is accept it is painful, but you've got to move forward because time is all we've got. You've got to pick yourself up and go, I can't change it. What can I do? I can make a better version of myself and enjoy what I've got left because we don't know what we've got left. And that is the answer. History already happened. Time is the most important. Pick yourself up, move forward. And the easiest way or the best way I always find to get people is all of a sudden turn it off as if it doesn't really matter. Of course it does. But make them feel, fucking hell, oh shit. Okay, I've said it now, let's go. Distract them from that sadness into let's go.
Right.
It's almost like breaking the
It's
loop.
reassurance almost.
The loop.
Breaking that negative loop in there, and one of us will end up, and it's a fine line. When people start going so deep in the dark, we know we're gonna freaking stop it right there, and it's time to get serious because we still got a lot of training to do.
Right.
Or you see someone actually being unburdened, and they start to feel even a little happy than one of us. God, I mean, no matter what, we get them in the now. Billy nailed it. It's the history. We've all got scars. Everybody in this room. We've all been through things. We all got regrets. But that's then. We need you here now.
Now, yeah. Like,
and not just you, but your team as well. Let's
Right.
go.
How do you guys pick the missions that they do? And like, are there any that you guys think of and then go, that is way too dangerous?
No, we never say it's way too dangerous.
Everything they
Production
do,
sometimes.
everything they do, we will do before, and we've done. Everything they do is based on something real that we've done in the military.
Okay.
That's why you get a production director who's got this great idea, and actually it's fucking stupid. He thinks it's a great idea in terms of, right, Billy, Rudy, what we're going to do today is this, and we'll listen and go, no, we fucking ain't. This is what we're going to do. Okay, because I'll give you an example. A lot of my friends say to me, hey, Billy, when in the Special Forces did you run up a hill carrying tyres and a log? Well, we fucking didn't, did we? But we ran up there carrying ammunition. That represents ammunition. Oh,
And crew-served weapons and massive machine guns.
Right.
Yeah.
so
Or
everything
casualties.
represents- So when you see carrying
no.
a big log across a big open field and being shot at, that represents taking a body off the battlefield, which we've done.
That's right.
Abseiling into the water, it's because it's covert. It's a sneaky way of getting into the target. So everything they do is based on something that we have done. And, we don't have the time to explain every situation, but it's all there to test people, physically, mentally, and emotionally. You're either scared of, open spaces, cold water, heights, or confined spaces.
Even failure,
We will
right?
test you on every one of them.
Oh, the
Failure's
confined
big.
spaces.
But we monitor everything.
Oh, yeah.
Every single night, which never gets shown on the show, when they go to bed after 18, 19 hours of working, because that's every day what they do,
Okay.
we've still got an hour and a half where we sit and we'll talk about you. Right, how was she today? Yeah, physically she's good. We don't need to push her anymore. Let's look at her mental side. What was she like? She's petrified of heights. Okay, let's get on this task tomorrow and make her do, and not to hurt you or to break you, push you to the point, and we're watching very, very closely. Okay, she's given her 100%. She's passed that barrier. We don't need to go any further. She's done. And that's every single person. That's why when they go, wow, how is this show a fair show? You've got, a 6 stone, a 100-pound young lady. You've got a fucking 200-pound muscle mutt who can run all day. How is it fair that they're both running? Well, it is, because a muscle mutt will expect him to run at the fucking speed that we dictate. The lady could just finish it. That's her 100%. So it's all balanced up.
Okay.
There's no concessions. Everybody does the same stuff, but we do know where your 100% point is. Yes. We know where yours is. And is this different to mine?
Well,
Right.
we all have strengths and challenges, and what we find, which is so magnificent, is the beautiful production and the shooters and the cinematographers, directors. They see the grandiose, gorgeous tasks from the bridge, from the helicopter, these amazing underwater escapes, and so on and so forth. What you see bring out the best as a team and as an individual is no tech at all. We simply have them carrying boats and carrying equipment for long periods of time. And the strongest people almost always burn out. The weak people have to step up.
Do you think that's because mentally maybe they feel like they've got an upper hand? Like, for example, you've got 2 ex-football players this season. You've got Cam Newton, who I know from, he played for
Carolina
the Panthers.
Yeah.
And then Golden Tate, who I cannot remember, but I always remember that
Seahawks.
fine-looking face.
Yeah.
I was always with his helmet on. I was like, that's a fine-looking motherfucker. But I always wonder, like, did they go in thinking, I've got this
Yes,
because
they
I'm
did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. And
I
they
knew
were.
treat it
that
like a
Cam was going
sprint
to be
and
an
not a
issue.
marathon.
They
The
were-
moment you got onto the boat and you go, what's your name? And he goes, Cam.
Yeah, and they're looking down on me.
I don't like your attitude. Stop. Drop the attitude. Drop the attitude. Wham. No, the football
Wild.
players have a rude fucking awakening on this course. They always do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it is a man thing. It's an ego thing.
Oh, God.
You know, it's this masculine. I'm going to be the tough guy instead of just go with it, learn from it, get an experience, which the women do. Everybody initially is guarded, and you've got to be because you're thinking about how am I going to be portrayed on TV? How are people thinking about me? After the first day, where we've stripped them naked and they're all bare, they're covered up, by day 2, they ain't
care.
worried about being naked.
No, they don't care about
They don't
taking
care
a
about the
shit in front of
cameras, they don't
everybody.
care about anything.
So those barriers are coming down, but
Yeah.
with some of the men, they've still got to have this. Fucking tough, and I'm this, and it's just a man thing, I think, and particularly the big ones.
Yes.
And then comes the excuses.
Yep.
Oh, my pants are too tight, my boots are too tight. He's got attitude with me. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I would
They don't
have a
attitude.
really hard time complaining, knowing what the 2 of you
That's-
have been through
yeah, I
in your
wouldn't-
lives.
What's so interesting is that the females are female recruits. And, you know, for the longest time, I didn't think women had a place in the Special Force. We've been fighting with women in combat for as long as I've been fighting, and we have them as great helicopter pilots and fast mover pilots. They're intel officers. Females, fantastic asset in the military. But as far as tip of the spear, grindhouse, kick the doors in, kill the bad guys, and do it day in, day out for as long as it takes, I didn't think women had the physical robustness. Not the mind, but the physical robustness. I'll tell you what, this course has taught me so much. The women continue to surprise me at what an asset they are because they are flexible mentally. They do not take humiliation just runs off of their back. They get up and go again. They get their ass knocked in the dirt, get up and go again. And we never hear the women make excuses, do we? We never hear an excuse from a woman.
Wow.
But the men,
We love to complain.
it's so interesting. Well,
I've
it's so
never felt
interesting.
prouder to be a woman than
Yeah.
right now.
But let me tell you, that's not all the men. It's
Yeah,
just if you
that's
do
not all
get a
the men.
complaint,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. It's never this is fucking tough and I wasn't ready for it. They'll never say that. It's always it's a personality clash with one of us, or
That's right.
there's always an excuse, and we always listen. We don't want fucking excuses. We've heard them all.
Oh, we know. We've
we
watched
only
the
want-
show. I'm like, if there's one thing y'all hate, it's an excuse.
Yeah, it's just
Because there is no excuse. You know what? We put them under duress, and they're little Bergens, they're rucks, 35, 40 pounds. Our combat kit, meaning slick, like we feel like ballerinas out there running and gunning, is like 80 pounds. Body armor, ammunition, batteries, grenades, weapon, sometimes a second weapon, sometimes a third weapon, water, and that's slick. And then we rock up with 150 pounds on our back of batteries, water, explosives, ammunition, and we've got to patrol when there's enemy out there looking to kill us. So we know what the body and the mind is capable of.
Right.
And so that's why there's you don't get sympathy from us. We know what you can do. Holy smokes, we didn't know how long our selection would be. Like, it feels like it's going to go on forever because sometimes you're making it just hour by hour. And we know that these recruits only got 2 weeks at the most with us. Anybody can get through 2 weeks of hardness. Anybody.
Yeah.
But to be fair to them,
if
it's
you
it's
switch it
tough.
on.
It is
Yeah.
a tough course.
Oh, yeah.
I don't doubt
of
that.
course, we do what we do. That's what we want to do. We chose that life. We were tried and tested and sort of conditioned to do what we do. That's our life. You know, to us, it's second nature.
Right.
What's the big deal? for these people to step into our ring, it's a fucking big deal.
We
It
give
really
them a lot
is.
of respect for that
It is,
because they
but-
are civilians coming into our brutal world.
Yeah, but it's, you know, whenever someone that's had a fairly easy life, and I'm fucking happy to say that, when if they can find one way out, easy way out, they'll take it.
Right.
And that's what we're there to stop. That easy option ain't fucking there. You will be here to the end, or you'll admit it's too fucking hard for you, and in your own band. And that's hard for them to take that and go.
And once they hand in the armband, that's
it.
like, I'm done. I'm out of
That's it,
here.
yeah.
Everyone
Who-
is exposed there. Everyone, and that's our job, is to expose you, and it's because we want the best of you. You cannot grow until you're stripped down to your honest, authentic self, and that's what we do. And we're giving them an opportunity, really, and we love when they take it and they run with it. We love it.
Yeah.
And whether they leave on day 1 or day 10, everybody leaves a better version of themselves.
100%. I can
Everybody.
imagine.
You know, so it's not a win-lose competition. It's about you becoming a better version of you. And now whether that takes 1, 10, 5, it doesn't matter. You know, look, we'd like everybody to get to the end.
Kyla Pratt.
She was on the chopping block in the first 7 hours of the first day. I will tell you what, that little freaking pocket rocket that just does not know how to give up, it's like day 7 or 8, and she's still there.
You know what I love about her?
And
I
we love her because what guts.
I grew up watching Kyla Pratt. Like I
Okay.
watched, she was a voice of Proud Family. Like the moment she was on, I was like, wow, how nostalgic. Like I just remember
She's hilarious.
loving her. She's so funny. But I loved what she said. She said, I'm doing this because I think it was when she did you guys call it a mirror room.
The mirror room, yeah.
When she said her whole life, you know, she's been a child actor and everyone
told
has
what to do.
made decisions for her. I never had a say.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I cannot even imagine. Like, that's when I realized, okay, this show is well beyond what you're capable of physically, but what you've been through in your past and the little moments that really shaped who you are that you want to shake the fuck off. And like you said, Billy, it's history. We got to let it go. We have to be in the now. Who in all 3 seasons has surprised you the most in the sense of, I didn't expect you to get this far? And who's the one that surprised
go
you the
Anna
most
Brown.
of, damn, I thought you'd get further?
I'm with Billy on this one.
Anna,
Okay, first we'll
Anna
tell
Brown.
you.
There's
Anna Brown.
there's a few for different reasons, and we have a thing called in the special forces. Try to be the grey man, grey woman. What that means is don't be seen, you know, at the front. Don't be seen at the back. Stay in the middle. Just float along. She was the ultimate grey man because by about day 3, everyone's looking at where the fuck did she come from? I don't remember seeing her. She was the classic.
We didn't even know she was there
Yeah.
until day 3.
She was kind of bimbled along, and then all of a sudden she started to rise, but gain confidence, and she was kicking ass by the end of it, really fucking good. But I classed her as the drunk on the Titanic. So the Titanic's fucking sinking, everybody's running for the lifeboats and panicking. She's crashing around with a fucking head up her ass, wondering why the bar's closed. That was Anna Brown. I'm like, where the fuck? And all of a sudden, she was like, bang, she's on it. She's, you know, smashing away. And whoa, she was one of those surprises.
Yeah. Who were you shocked didn't go for, like, you didn't think they'd give up so soon, or you thought that they would be capable of more?
Dez.
Do you feel comfortable?
I'd have
Dez
to
Bryant.
say Dez,
Yeah.
only because he let his anger get a hold of him. We were right there. I was running this dang thing, and Billy and I mean, we're very good teammates. I mean, we're always backing each other up because remember, there's only 4 of us, and we're running, especially in the early days of each season, it's 12, 15 recruits. It's a lot going on, and we were doing abseil, Aussie rappel down this massive bridge, and it's scary and it's stressful, what have you, and there's water below. Dez started acting out on my stunt safeties, who are Royal Marines and British Army, our brothers that help set up systems and rigs, our brothers on this thing. Started acting out, and he's a big, strong unit. And he pushed one of the camera people off there at the bottom because he was in pain. You don't think we've been in pain before?
Right.
How about when we've been in the shoot house when the freaking hot brass goes right in here and the brass is burning freaking blisters through you. Does that mean that you take your head out of your rifle or that you don't dig your corner? No, we've been through a lot, man. And we know this is just a passage in time, but he endangered some of my crew. With no hesitation, I said, you're not in control. We're in control. And then I said, throw him in the fucking water. Also because I was thinking of safety. I did not want him to hit or hurt anybody. And we've got a safety boat out there. And we're all rescue swimmers. We can always rescue him. Throw him in the water. And then he's flashing harder. Fuck this, fuck you. And then Billy smiles at me. Billy's like, mate, are you ready? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking ready, I guess. And mate smile, he gets, because it's going down, Billy's like. And so Billy goes to
Billy likes when things like that happen and you get that exact smile on your face. I just can picture it.
It's so you know what? I took off my fucking top little raincoat, and I'm like, all right, here I'm ready to go. I'm a fighter, But Billy smartly moved to the flank because if it's going down, he's going to hit him from the flank too. No, it's really fucking going down, and he takes fucking out. No, he comes walking over to me, right? And I think, here it is. And I'm like, all right. And Billy's right over here on the flank, over to the side. And then Dez gets right up to me, and then he grabs his helmet and throws it down and walks off, and we both afterwards were like,
Some sense kicked in towards that end where he was like, I'm just going to throw my helmet and walk away.
And we love the guy. He regretted it the moment it happened.
Oh, no.
Yeah. We love the guy, but it just goes to show.
But it just shows there's no retakes. Hey, you've had your fucking moment, and unfortunately blew it. And it was a shame because he is a real nice guy.
A wonderful
He's
man.
also very sexy.
But that's how it can push you.
Shame to
That's what
see
that
him go.
course does to you.
It exposes you.
Yeah.
And he says he needs to work on his anger and that he's even in therapy working on anger and that he's had issues even professionally with it and at home.
Could he get another shot on the
Yeah,
show?
maybe.
Round two?
I'd love to have him back.
Can I petition that right now on this show?
Yeah, you guys got juice.
Bring him back season 4.
Yeah,
Let's see if he got control of
I'd love
it.
to have him back, brother.
Yeah. I mean, I think if his biggest thing was anger, let's, throw him back on, see if he got any control of it. That would be very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I
Because again,
all I do is podcast. We'll let the professionals handle it.
the program follows the ethos of the proper special forces. That's why you'll see one time we'll be filming in the desert, next time we'll be in the jungle, next time we'll be. It's exactly like the special forces is, and so to that degree you're talking about there, on SAS selection you're allowed two chances. So if you fail, you go away for a period of time and you then come back, but that's it. You'll only get 2 chances.
Okay.
And in our
So this ain't
selection,
baseball. It's not 3 strikes, you're out.
Oh no! And in our selection, how many of our
So it'd
bros
be good
get
to have
hurt?
him back.
A lot of our bros get hurt. How many of our bros during selection get freaking really
A
hurt,
lot.
break their legs, break their arm, whatever?
God.
But you know what? They always want to come back. So we understand that. And people do get hurt a lot in courses and in selection and in courses because the nature of the work that we do is dangerous. And then sometimes some cats make it to the end, but the instructors, the DS say they're just not quite either mature enough or maybe a little too aggressive and not systematic and pragmatic enough. Because we work in very small teams. We may be hidden in a van for a direct action mission or doing a sniper mission. I'm pissing on top of my freaking spotter, and he's pissing on me for 3 or 4 days, and it's freezing cold, and nobody can get mad. And nobody can get mad. We can't get mad.
Right.
We are fighting an enemy. We can't get mad about things like that. So sometimes people make it to the end, and then they say, you're not exactly what we want, but then they come back again. But,
Wow.
I mean, it's only, 2 shots. And some people, after the first time, they say, I don't think this is for me.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is intense, and I just, as we talk, I keep thinking, I'm like, do I fucking put it out there that I want to do this show just to
Do
test
it.
myself?
Yes.
I
think
don't
you
know.
should.
I need to sleep on it, guys.
Do it.
Before we sign off, I want to know if you could pick anybody to be on season 4. Who would you like to see?
Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, my God.
That's a good
Great
one.
That is a great one.
Great one. There's word on the street, this wonderful man with a great attitude who's very successful. He's a football player.
Okay.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady wants to come.
Oh, he does?
Tom Brady wants to come. I think it'd be fantastic. Of course, the ratings will be through the roof. We're going to do 10 seasons, dog, after that. But
He would be spectacular.
but I know he'd just want to test himself, and he's a team player, and he will be challenged. Nobody handles cold water very well. Nobody handles getting
he
hit.
played.
But like his mental toughness is what would get him
And his
through.
care for team.
Yeah.
I think it would be wonderful.
But that would be interesting to see if it is, because has he really been tested at that level?
We don't
That's
know.
true.
Yeah,
I
would
doubt
say
it.
no.
There you go.
Because I immediately go to, okay, well, if you threw him in really cold waters, I mean, he played in New England.
There's
That
a
place is pretty
huge
freezing.
different-
But again, they're like,
Very
that's
different.
nothing.
Yeah, like submerged
So I
in
don't
ice
know.
water or just like getting hit with snow. I'd
You
rather
with
get
Gordon
hit with snow.
Ramsay would be iconic. And then having Tom Brady would be.
Yes. Maybe Mike Tyson as well. That would be lovely.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Wow.
It'd
Oh my
be a
God.
great
I want to
opportunity
like.
for him, for his heart, for his soul.
Yeah. Especially going out the way he went out
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
that Paul brother.
Yeah.
He finished. That's all that matters.
I think one of the Paul brothers would be interesting on this
Oh,
show
the
too.
ego guys.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
ego guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
maybe
one last-
both of them.
Yeah, and then Billy, I would love to see you and Gordon Ramsay face off, man. After watching you with Stephen Baldwin and just saying, "Who's your brother?" Oh, your brother's an actor? Oh, yeah, Alec Baldwin. Oh, he's mid. Just shoves him right off the phone. I would love to see you do that to one of the Paul brothers. Oh, Tom Brady, you've won 7 or 8 Super Bowls. Get the fuck off my boat.
No,
Just
it
push
would
him
be
off.
so good.
That's the reaction I want to see Tom Brady under. Just him getting criticized, shoved,
Yeah.
belittled, and see how he responds.
I feel like he would take it like a champ. I feel like he would be humbled by
I don't
it.
think so.
I don't
I don't
think
Really?
I don't know. I think
All
they
right,
would
Fox,
find a
get
breaking
him on the
point.
show.
Yeah.
I think they
need
find the
Tom
breaking
Brady,
point.
because I think you would break him mentally.
Everybody would expect him to do so well, and when he finds it fucking cold, wet, and tough, it might be, oh fuck.
I think you break
I'm in a
him when
place
you
I don't wanna
force
be.
him to shit in a hole in the ground.
Or you know how many times, Billy, have our recruits like hemmed and hawed and pitched the biggest freaking fit and try to get contact agents about the food for their special dietary needs. Holy shit. You know, I slaughtered goats when we were fighting in Iraq because we were so far ahead of everything. There was no food. So we had to freaking kill. And goats taste like shit when you got to eat them, but you're hungry.
What is this like? Are we talking like sushi style goat, or would you make a fire?
Oh, we'd make a fire, but fucking Iraqi goats are not exactly known as cuisine.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. We have to go
You
on.
gotta eat.
But these recruits, and they come from good backgrounds and maybe some wealth. They're just used to a much more polished, much more manicured life.
Right.
There's nothing manicured about what we do.
I had the best time.
Thank you.
I
all.
really
Still
did.
intimidated
I'm
right now.
really, really
Oh.
grateful that you guys made time to come out and talk with us on the Give Them Lala podcast. Special Forces World's Toughest Test Season 3 is airing right now. It's on Fox Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. The season finale is going to air on February 5th. I watch on Hulu as well, so just know that that is an option. Dude, I feel inspired as fuck today.
Thank you.
Thank you guys, and thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Give Them Lala podcast. We will catch you next week. Bye. Thank you so much for watching another episode of the Give Them Lala podcast. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Did I get all 3? I'm getting really good at that.